Hello.
Blog Talk Radio.
We are the music makers, and we are the dreamers of dreams.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Superhero Academy. I am Crossfire the Crusader. I'll be your host for the next 30 minutes, the most exciting 30 minutes on Blog Talk Radio and the entire real-life superhero community. Probably the only one, actually. And on the line with me today, I have our visiting professor, Urban Avenger, and Dragonheart. Say hi to the folks, everybody.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
All right, well, 30 minutes, we're going to get right into this Urban Avenger. I've been talking about this since you agreed to do the show, and it's actually at the time that we first talked about this, you were just beginning a search for the Chula Vista Groper, and I was wanting to see how that was going, but it's actually taken some large steps forward. So to get things started, just kind of tell us, how did you decide to become Urban Avenger and get to that point?
My origin story, okay. Well, it was a dark and stormy night, and, no, actually, seriously, though, I went and saw Kick-Ass, and the kids in the movie asked a very important question, why don't people dress up as superheroes and go out and fight crime? And I had an epiphany at that moment, and I asked myself the same question. I'm like, why don't they? Like, what is, like, do people do this? And so I did some research, and I found out about people like Mr. Extreme and Dark Guardian and Death's Head Moth and, you know, a couple other people. And I was like, wow, people really do this. So, all right, I'm going to do it too. I got to get on this because this sounds like this is big. This is, you know, very important, and people are out here, you know, risking their lives and doing good for the world. And so I came up with the identity of the Urban Avenger, and it was history ever since.
Very good. I remember when you first started out, there was some awkward moments there. Like that happens with all of us, I'm sure. Now, go on ahead and tell us about what the Extreme Justice League does, and go on into the story about the Mr. Roper.
Well, this guy was basically just running around Chula Vista, which is my town. That's where I live, and I patrol there every once in a while. And he was running around at night, not at night, I'm sorry, in like the middle of the afternoon, you know, grabbing random women. Anywhere between the ages of 15 and I think 50. I think the oldest victim was 50 years old. And he would do this in broad daylight.
Now, let me ask you a question. This guy, was he like just grabbing them, or was he actually trying to do anything sexual beyond just the groping or whatever? Or was that the limit of his apparent, you know, nefariousness?
Well, it kind of evolved a little bit. You know, it was getting progressively worse. By the time he was caught, he had grabbed about 16 or 17 women, and one of his last victims, he had actually bit on the butt.
Oh, my God. So he escalated it.
Yeah, he was definitely escalating, and it was just a matter of time before it got even worse.
Oh.
So what we did...
your response to that was really interesting. Let's listen to that.
Yeah, so basically we got his image off of like the news, you know, like the websites and stuff, like the concept, not concept sketch, the sketch that the police had made for him, and you know his description, which was kind of vague, because the guy did a really good job of like concealing his identity, wearing a hoodie, and since he always attacked from behind, women never really got like a good look at him, so it was like really vague, like, you know, like light-skinned Latino or Caucasian. Like, okay, well that could be just about anybody really, especially in San Diego. And so we basically put these flyers together like wanted posters, and we would hang them up all over Chula Vista where the attacks were real apparent, and we would hand them out to people, and we were just really, really aggressive. And Mr. Extreme made several calls to the media, you know, saying that he wanted to get this story out there. And it'd been on the news before. That's how I had heard about it. And, you know, that's part of what made us kind of want to push the word out there even farther. And to be honest with you, even though it'd been on the news before, not many people knew what this guy was about or what he was even doing or the fact that this was even going on. So we accomplished a lot by really getting the word out there and really trying to emphasize how important, you know, public safety was.
The guy was actually caught on an unrelated charge, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was caught on actually like an unrelated note. Because of the girl he had bit on the butt, they now had his DNA on file.
Oh,
because of the saliva left behind. And so a couple months later, a few victims later even, he was involved in, I guess, an unrelated domestic violence dispute with his girlfriend, which I don't know, if he had a girlfriend, why is he running around grabbing women? And
sick-minded people, you know, you're trying to apply logic to the sick-minded actions of the mentally disturbed. It's almost a mute point, but you know.
That's a good point. All right, I hadn't thought of that. So they made the connection. They issued a warrant out for his arrest, and they caught him.
Oh, fantastic!
Yeah,
now,
and it took like 7 or 8 months for this guy to get caught. I mean, think about that. Think about how long he ran around wild, just doing whatever he wanted for 8 months before he finally got captured.
How many times did he get away with being reported?
Oh, I think he was. Wait, I'm sorry. Can you repeat that?
How many times did he actually act that wasn't reported? Out of all the ones that were reported, there's probably twice as many that didn't even bother the police.
A lot of people don't report it out of shame. So.
Oh yeah, I have no idea. I mean, those are just the ones that we knew of, and a couple of women would go home and they saw the story in the news and were like, oh my God, I was grabbed. I should call the police. Like 3 or 4 hours after the fact.
Yeah.
You know, and they're home later that night and they see this on the news and they're like, oh, I should probably call the cops because I was groped. Like, why wouldn't you call the police to begin with? And that was a big problem because it was really hard to try and figure out where this was happening because, you know, stories change even after only a few hours. Like, well, I don't remember exactly where it was or what the guy looked like, you know, and it really made the case a lot harder to close.
Yeah, that probably does.
And that was something that the police had told us when we were talking to them about it. So they, you know, it was hard for them as much as it was hard for us.
Now, I know y'all have a really good working relationship with the city government and the police there. Just the actions of the Extreme Justice League, what kind of response did you get from the police on this particular situation? I mean, were they in favor of what you were doing? Were they supportive? Were they just kind of
absolutely.
curious?
Yeah, no. They were very, very supportive of us, and they had shown us an updated sketch on this guy before it was even released to the public.
Oh.
Now, obviously they couldn't hand it out to us because, you know, it'd be a security risk, but they were definitely willing to show us and talk to us and, you know, and try and share as much information as they were allowed to share with us to try and help get this guy. And it wasn't only the Chula Vista police that were really supportive of us, but actually the city government was backing us up on this too.
Well, there you go. You know,
yeah,
you got the police department, you know, supporting you. You've got the local government supporting you. I mean, that to me is a sign that, you know, when the RLSH put their minds together for a common goal and they do it within the boundaries of the law, and they work in conjunction with the law. I mean, you've got an entire city and law enforcement agency backing you up. I mean, people can't ever really quantify just how important that is. You know, so
yeah,
kudos
exactly.
to you guys.
Thank you.
So right now in the RLSH community, there's 3 areas that I know of where the real life superheroes have up there. And one of them is Clearwater, Florida, where superheroes. We had a police officer, and he knew who superhero was. He talked about it for a while. He was familiar with it. He was from Clearwater. He was a superhero. And then, of course, Thanatos has his Commissioner Gordon that he talks about. But now the Extreme Justice League seems to have gone one step forward, and you're somewhat officially working with the city now. Is that correct?
Sort of. We had a meeting a couple months ago with the Deputy Mayor of Chula Vista, who basically has asked us to continue our services, but sort of backed by the city of Chula Vista. He wants us to go to schools and talk to kids, students about, about pedophiles and sexual predators, and keep doing our neighborhood watch patrols. And we actually have another meeting set up with them at the beginning of next month, to try and work out more of the finer details of what all of this is about in our continued relationship with the city.
Wow. Urban, let me ask you a question really quick.
Sure.
How does the city, like the mayoral office and the police, how do these officials in a higher station of power, so to say, how do they react to you guys? As far as I know, they react positively to what you're doing for the community, but how do they react to the fact that you're doing this, wearing the garb or the uniform per se? I mean, what does it make a difference to them? I mean, does it hinder you in any way, or?
Not really. Actually, the deputy mayor, his name is Rudy Ramirez. He actually said that we are very effective at what we do because we attract so much attention to ourselves and to our cause because of the costume.
Yeah. I remember reading years ago when I started doing this about Mr. Silent, and they said that wherever Mr. Silent was patrolling, the crime rates dropped because nobody wants to go out and try and do something where everybody's watching what's going on. And if he's drawing attention to the area, just the fact that people are paying attention to him means they'll notice what other people are doing around him, and so the criminals would go somewhere else. The drug dealers, pickpockets, whatever, would leave because they didn't want to be around Mr. Silent. And I thought that was a really neat thing. And, the big word I use on Superhero Academy is impact. And what I see from the Extreme Justice League, when I first invited you, I was just like, we got something neat going on here. Let's talk about it. But I've seen impact with a capital I happen here in the fact the city has even noticed the impact of what you're doing. I mean, you've found a need, you filled that need, and you've done it just in an amazing way. And it's made international news. And you did
I am
never crossing that line of becoming a vigilante.
That's about, Crossfire, thank you very much. I think me and you were on the same wavelength. I was about to say the same thing. It is so important to know that the city and the law enforcement is on the side of extreme justice, because a lot of people would look at what they're doing, and if they don't know that the law enforcement and the city itself is behind extreme justice and supporting them, they would say, oh, well, what they're doing is vigilantism. But the moment that the law enforcement and the city, the officials, give their blessings to what extreme justice is doing, you need to throw the whole vigilantism out the window, because it's not. These people are doing the service, with the support of major people in the government. And, they're not hurting anybody. If anything, they're helping, and they're being recognized for that. That's very important. People need to draw that distinction, because a lot of people like to throw the vigilantism word around, but in this case, it's anything but that.
One of the things that comes up in these discussions with anytime you're around the RLSH community for any amount of time, you're going to have the discussion of you're not a real superhero, you don't have powers, blah, blah, blah. Because they think superheroes, they think Superman making the earth spin backwards and go back in time. They think about the Flash running across the water. It's got to be something amazing. People going down the beach, throwing the surf back in the water. You make a difference one person at a time. One person whose life has changed at a time. One criminal whose one situation is rectified. And I just get amazed at what some of the other missions you've done. there was a story you told right after, I think this was you. You had broke up a fight and got him up to the end. Is that correct?
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that? You kind of broke up there for a second.
Yeah, we got some wind. Dragonheart's in his car, and so we'll catch up some wind every so often. But there was a story, I believe it was you that told, where you had helped break up a fight, and a guy punched you, and you were chasing him down, and when you got caught up to him, you found out he'd been injured in the fight, and you actually do first aid until the ambulance got there.
Yeah.
You went from being the enforcer to the rescuer.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what happened. Yeah, we waited there until the ambulance showed up, and then we asked the police if there was anything else that we needed to do, and they're like, no, you guys, we don't need anything, so you're free to go. That was about it.
Yep.
Yeah, he turned from, the aggressor to the victim, and we turned from the enforcer, like you said, the enforcer to to helping them out, basically.
Well, criminals, regardless of their wrongdoing, at the end of the day, they're still human beings, and you don't have to like them, obviously, but tending to their medical aid and stuff like that, that's obviously the appropriate thing to do, because criminals, they're not, they're bad people, but we can't just throw away our humanity, because the moment we do that, then what's the point of even trying to be heroic?
Yep.
Breaks the law that the person who's making a mistake. That's something I learned when I worked at the prison. It's whether they acknowledge the mistake as a crime, the mistake taught. That's the difference in their attitude.
Yeah, that's true.
If you're looking at a human being and look to see what you can do for that human being, whether it's to stop them from making the mistake in the first place, to stop them from committing the crime, or is it to help them because they got injured, or whatever it takes, And you do so within the boundaries of the law. If you have to get physical with somebody to break up a fight, that's one thing. If you doctor somebody up, that's another thing. But in the long range, everybody knows that you're there to perform and be treated with respect and courtesy. Because they're handled in such a professional way that everybody agrees. I'm going to have to mute you here for a minute.
For me?
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of background noise from one of you here.
Yeah, no, actually, I don't know. It's I'm driving in my car, and it's not raining really hard, so maybe it's just the phone connection or the crappy phone company, signal or something. But I'm not outside in any wind or anything like that.
It's probably me. It's kind of windy where I am. I'm sorry.
It might be.
That's all right.
Okay. I'm not sure who it was. We're getting a lot of wind in the background there. So.
No, I'm inside my car, so. But,
sorry about that. That's me.
No, don't worry about it, dude. It's all right. We can do many things, but control weather is one of them.
Yeah.
I do want anybody else that wants to call in and be part of the show. The call-in number is 917-889-3317. That's 917-889-3317 for Superhero Academy. And we're here with Dragonheart and our visiting professor, the Urban Avenger. Now, Urban Avenger, the question I would ask, Mr. Extreme, are those goggles as intimidating in person as they look in the pictures?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they don't bother me too much, but a lot of people do get really freaked out by them.
I said before I'd like to borrow his goggles and King Snake's mask just for one day,
Yeah, that would be a really great combination, wouldn't it?
Oh, you would cause nightmares in children that never even saw you, I'm sure.
Well, intimidation is an important weapon. I mean, I hate to say this because the RLSH's job isn't to instill fear in people, but at the same time, intimidation to a certain degree is part of what a lot of the RLSH do, in my opinion, because they have these personas and they appear very intimidating or kind of a bit fearsome. And a lot of times, people they see that and they immediately say to themselves, well, you know what, I don't think I want to get aggressive with this guy, so I better cool it. So here you have, your costume or your garb. It doesn't become, it's not necessarily a weapon as much as it is a tool in diffusing a situation that might get potentially out of hand even before it starts to get bad. I mean, if I'm walking the street, if I'm walking the streets and patrolling or whatever, which I don't, but if I was and a criminal is going to see me and say, you know what, he looks kind of intimidating, I better not mess with that guy, so I'd rather leave, or you know what, that lady over there that I was going to snatch her purse, I'd better not do that because I don't want this guy chasing me down. Guess what? You didn't lift a finger and you just stopped the crime. Or you didn't lift a finger, but you deterred someone from doing something violent or illegal.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's the whole point of wearing a costume.
You remember the demon mask the samurai used to wear?
That's right.
It made them seem more than human.
Wow, Crossfire, that's an awesome point you just made, because I'm a big fan of the Oriental samurai culture, and yeah, they used to wear masks where they literally looked like demons. And they did it to scare their foes into a sense of weakness.
If you look among the African tribes, you see the tribal witch doctors wore these large wooden masks that made them look like more than something other than human. And by taking the human factor, it gave them strength over the other people because it disarmed them in some sense.
Yeah, that's true.
And,
Urban, let me ask you a question. How long have you and Mr. Extreme and Extreme Justice been going at it? Who would you say is the one that's been doing this the longest?
Oh, Mr. Extreme, easily. He's been going on for about 5 years now. I've only been doing this for about, I think, almost 9 months.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't been doing it that long. Way less than a year, but he's been doing it for a few years now. So he's the team leader. It's his team. He formed it. I just joined.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So I've been pretty much with him since my very first day out on patrol.
How many members are there in the Extreme Justice League?
Technically, there's about 5. There's myself, the Orange Cricket, Vigilante Spider, Mr. Extreme, of course, and... Wait, is that 5? Oh, and Radnor. How can I forget Radnor? Yeah. And there's other people, too, who are, like, honorary members, like the Good Samaritan up in Los Angeles, Bearman, he's in, I think, San Bernardino? Yeah. They're members, too, but they just don't patrol with us as often as everyone else does, simply because of where they're located at.
Oh, okay.
So I guess you could say there's about 7 people. But, yeah, there's about 5 active members that patrol all together on a regular basis.
Cool. What else?
And we are recruiting.
We got about 6 minutes, guys. We're running out of time here quickly. I do need to take a moment and, of course, go into the, we've got the cape drive coming that we're working on. It's an all-year project. We're asking people to donate capes to Heart Heroes. They donate capes to children with degenerative diseases of the heart. These capes help the kids find their inner superheroes and use that strength to face the surgeries and the doctor's visits and the multiple issues that they have as a result of their heart disease they're born with. These capes cost $25. Every bit of money goes into the product, and if the kids are given a card, they get to go online and design their own cape and become their own hero. So if you are able to, just go to the link that should be on the show page for Heart Heroes, and you can go in there and donate 25, 50, whatever, or how many capes you can do this year. Our goal for the year is give out 600 capes this year.
Urban, I want to ask you another question. We've seen, we've obviously seen that, the law enforcement is apparently on your side and supporting you guys, and so is the governmental officials. How has the reaction from the public been to your group and what you do and when you're around them?
It's usually positive. I mean, every once in a while we get a couple of naysayers, but for the most part, people are very supportive of what we do and very respectful of us. and they like talking to us and asking questions. So usually it's a very positive experience with the general citizenry.
Okay. We've got another caller online real quick. Area code 917.
Hey, how you doing? It's Samaritan Prime.
Hey, Samaritan. We've only got about 4 minutes here, so I'll let you speak.
Well, I just wanted to call in and express my support for Urban Avenger. He's been a friend of mine online for some time, and, we're all very proud of what you're doing and all the support that you're getting. So I just want to let you know you got supporters over here in New York and on the East Coast, and keep up the great work, man.
Thank you very much, Samaritan. Good to hear from you.
Awesome.
Well, guys, we got about 4 minutes. Urban Avenger, I want to thank you for being here. Dragonheart and Samaritan Prime for calling in and being part of the show. And we got several people in the chat room. Superman of the Sentinels, Bad Guy, several guests. Lord Malignant and Valerie are also in there. I want to thank you all for joining the show today. Another caller, area code 619. Area code 619. Who have I got? Hello? Hello. Yes, sir.
Hello. Can you guys hear me?
Yep, I hear you. What have I got?
Hey, how you doing today? This is Captain Lappy.
Who?
He's a friend of mine. This is a friend
Captain
of mine.
Lappy. I'm a future superhero. I'm actually looking to get involved with it. That's my code name for right now. I'm actually that's not the official name. I'm looking for something else, but that's what my friends know me as. I want to know how long is this really going to last? Because I'm wondering how long I should do this.
Well, it's been going on for about 30 years. Take your pick.
Yeah, I mean, this is. I know Superman and Sentinel's been doing it for over 30 years. Several others that have been doing it for quite some time. So all the way back to the late 70s when we had Captain Sticky.
Yeah.
Favorite of mine.
It also depends. It depends on what you're doing also.
I need to go on ahead and do our closeout theme here in a minute and stay after the show. I'm going to kind of tease next week's show and invite everybody. So do get the podcast. If you're listening online, you'll have to get the podcast to hear the end of it. But we'll only have about 10 minutes after the show is over before it cuts us off. In the meantime, this is Crossfire the Crusader saying thank you for coming to Superhero Academy, and let's play our end theme.
We're men in light. We roam around the forest looking for light. We're men in time. We run from the rich and give to the poor, that's right. We may look like cities, but what we say or else we'll put after life. We're men in light. Always on guard, defending the people's rights.
Next week's show, we're going to be a little bit different. Instead of visiting professor, I've invited several Christian-themed heroes to be here. Next weekend is Easter Sunday, and we're going to be discussing a blog that I do a while back called My Hero, Jesus Christ, and we're going to talk about the impact of, the impact that nobody has had the impact of the life of Jesus Christ, in my opinion, historically or whatever. The week after that, I'm going to have Geist as our visiting professor, and he's going to be talking about the coloring book project that he's been working on, among some other things. The following week, Mother's Day, and I've got 2 possibilities for guests here, but nothing confirmed yet. On the 15th of May, we have on the 22nd of May, tentatively it's going to be Zimber. For Memorial Day weekend, we've got Patriot. The following weekend, the 5th of June, is Stormbringer. And the 12th of June, we will be doing our show live from the Superman Festival in Metropolis, Illinois. So we've got some good shows coming up in the next few weeks, and looking forward to every one of them. Also, keep paying attention to the Crossfire Academy blog, because I'm going to try and set up a like a T-shirt shop and a cafe press shop, something like that, where we can do a little bit of merchandising and help pay the $40 or whatever it takes each month. Take this up to and have a 2-hour show and cover these topics better, because we seriously have run out of time on this and had a lot left to say, a lot left to do. So I want to thank everybody. Urban Avenger, thank you for being the visiting professor today, and I look forward to having you on again. Thank you, Dragonheart, for calling in. Superman, Bad Guy, Lord Malignant, Valerie, everybody that called in, Captain Laffy, and Samaritan Prime, everybody you've made the show what it is. This is your show, more so than it's my show, because y'all are the ones that make it great. And I want to thank everybody for being part of Superhero Academy. We all have something to teach. We all have something to learn. Let's just keep growing together. And I will see you next week, same cross time, same cross channel. Everybody say goodbye, and we're going to hang up.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Crossfire.
Oh, no problem. Thank you for being here. There's a lot to learn. So once we get this up to a 2-hour show, I'm definitely going to have you back. And we're going to get Mr. Extreme on here. I want to hear his thoughts and stuff.
Definitely. I'll have him get on here. No problem.
Oh, yeah, we definitely want to get him on here. And if we ever meet, I'm going to borrow them goggles and get them out there. I love his headgear. Tell him he gets the Crossfire the Crusader seal of approval on that one.
I'll tell him you said that.
All right. And everybody have a good day, and I'll see you next week.
All right. Have a good day.
Bye-bye.